Well, g'day and welcome to another episode of The Good Oil from Daly's Ozark FlyFisher, and I'm Steve Daly. I'm old enough to remember when bringing a cell phone on the river was a really bad idea. People would get grumpy. This is one of the best tools you can have for a successful fishing outing. You combine your cell phone and Daly's White River FlyFisher app, and you've got a great set of tools to make your fishing trip better. The White River FlyFisher app makes it easier for you to be in the right place on the right water flow and catch more fish. We've put together the package that you need to know. Water schedules, real-time water flows, weather radar. It's all here in an easy, simple to use form. Water flows and how they change during the day is the most important thing for any fisherman on our river system. Be prepared to adjust during the day as the water flows change. Might mean going from wading to a boat or vice versa. You may be nymphing, dry flies. You may swing soft tackles or buggers or go up to big streams, all according to the water flows. If you know what's going on, you're in a better chance to take advantage of the best fishing on any given day. And that's what the app helps you do. What you should do now is go over to your app store, either for iPhone or for Android, and download the White River FlyFisher app. We'll go through that in a minute. I'll see you on the inside. So when you get the app loaded up, you'll click on the icon for White River FlyFisher, and you'll come along and you'll see a screen with a nice shot of the back of my head. Nice cloudy location, and we're going to start looking over under this menu tab with the three stripes on the left side. And you can see on the top there's Shoals flows, Norfork flows, southwest power schedules, weather radar, fishing reports, river cams and more, other flows, and then buy a license, Instagram, our social media and so on down here. So let's start at the top and let's have a look at Shoals flows, because this is what's happening right now. So if we look over here, we're going to have from left to right date, time, elevation. This is the lake height, okay, feet above sea level, and this is your tailwater height. And this column can be kind of interesting over time. But the things you're going to look for mostly, turbine releases and generation, okay. Now let's look here, midday today. We'll come over and we're going to see 16,379. That is CFS, cubic feet per second, and 260 megawatt. And the reason we like tailwater height, if either of the other two are down, generally you can see tailwater height. 5 units of water is about 3,200 CFS or 50 megawatts. That's what it takes to generate that sort of water. But if you listen to the telephone number, they're probably going to tell you there's 6 or even 7 generators on, because most of the time they're not running these wide open. It's kind of like a switch. They'll dial them up. There's some different sizes so they can average out. They run them how they want to. But don't think of it like a switch, each generator being an extra 3,000, because you can actually find some wadable water here with 2 units generating. Because the CFS, this column, might be telling you, say, that it's really only an effective 1 unit of water. This happens quite a lot. So calling the telephone hotline isn't necessarily the best way. So let's go over and have a look at Norfork flows. Very similar, same information at the top of power pool and so on. This is interesting. 1 unit is down for maintenance. Conduit releases will be made. They'll often put announcements like this here. And here's if I get my pen, this will tell you some of the issues you can face. I'm going to scroll down a little further. So you'll notice the numbers on Norfork are a lot smaller. There's the first thing. Right now they're running it's a little under 1 unit of water releases. Maximum here is about 40 megawatts 3,000, a little over 3,000 CFS, and big blank here at the bottom since 1 p.m. While you don't have any information in the megawatt hours column or the CFS column, this is the siphon column, which is an extra one. This is how they go about easing low dissolved oxygen, which we have an issue at right now. But over here you can still see there's fluctuations, and there's not much fluctuations because they're generally keeping this relatively even right now. But this would be if this was bouncing around, you'd be able to see the changes reflected in this column. If it's under 3,000, there are decent opportunities to float downstream using a kayak, canoe, etc. And being able to stop on some of the islands, some of the inside bends, and actually jump out and wait. There are places you can actually safely access, and this sort of flow is pretty good. So if you're sitting here trying to figure out what you're going to do for tomorrow, you will get at 4:30 each day, around 4:30 each day, you get the updated Southwest Power schedules, and it gives you an idea. Now, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you get the generation pattern for the next day. On Friday afternoon, you get a generation pattern for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Don't put your life in these hands. These are schedules, and as you'll see repeatedly, there are warnings in here. They are not laid down as law. These are a guide, and they can and will change often. But they give you a good indication as to what could be happening, particularly if it's been consistent. So let's click over, and because this is a Thursday, let's look at tomorrow's. One thing, because it's caught us all out, you want to have a look at the date. Alright, make sure you actually are looking at tomorrow's schedule. You wouldn't be the first one to get caught out on that. So you can see, look along, these are all of the Southwest Power electricity generators. And the ones we're interested in particular, well, this is Beaver, Table Rock Dam, Bull Shoals, Norfork Dam, Greers Ferry Dam, all of which fall in our catchment, so to speak. Fly fishing catchment as opposed to water catchment. So we can see tomorrow they've got 260 megawatts, not CFS, they've got megawatts lined up. Okay, and they're saying pretty consistent all day. Normally I'd find that hard to believe, but as you saw from the map we looked at, as you saw from the graph we looked at a little bit ago, that's about what they're doing. Normally you'd expect a little more fluctuation, but they're drawing the lake down right now. Normal generation patterns, when they're down in power pool, you can expect it to go up and down more so during the day. Alright, so Norfork Dam, again, similar. Very similar pattern, and you can see. If you're looking at wading right now, there you go, Beaver. It's a few hours away, and Greers Ferry. If you wanted to go throw streamers, you can look at this part of the river. Okay, below Bull Shoals, give you more water. Now, if we were looking at this on a Friday night, we'd be able to go over and look at Saturday, scroll through, Sunday, again, remembering to check that you've got the dates are up, you haven't looked too early. And Monday, give you a guide. Okay, similar information of the day. Okay. Next thing is weather radar. I really like, we use it a lot. Ducking and diving around storms, whether you're in spring or in fall. Remember, this is where we are, that little squiggly line there, that's actually the river. So you can come in here and gauge where these storms are going. Okay, other things you can do on our app, the river cams and more. You can pull up. There's a couple of good articles right here that will tell you about how to understand a lot of the stuff I've gone over if you want to go back to seeing something written and how that impacts on the flows. The river webcams that come up from various resorts who've been kind enough to set these up to help up river users. Newlands Resort, his place, Gene Strout Resort, and you can hit the button and go and see what's happening on these rivers. And this is, for that, we're entirely grateful. Newlands here on the white. They have a unique system of spoons here on the right hand side. Each spoon coincides with the dock height and tells you how much they're running. In this case there's a bit over 6, which is about what we saw. We saw about 6. And then White River at his place, which is just up the hill, not far upstream from the shop. Okay, very cool. The other one you can do is, if you're not fishing on if you happen to be fishing some other rivers, we also have the other flows link